A lot of guys have a highlight reel of all the greatest, finest, most beautiful, best at sex women they've ever been with. That highlight reel doesn't include what those women said afterward, the great conversations they had before, the clever thing that she thought of that one time. Like, that's just not a thing that these men are daydreaming about who don't find value in women outside of sex. If you want to be the object of a man's affection, if you want him to actually think about you, not just your body, he's going to have to see you as a human being, even in non-sexual ways. And he's going to have to want that as well. He's going to have to crave that as well. You're imagining walking around the mall with him, licking ice cream, holding hands. You probably imagine some guy looking at you funny and him protecting you. You've created this whole environment, this whole visualized world. Guys do the same thing. It's just the shit that they want instead of the shit that you want instead. A man's idea of what a man is supposed to be and do is generally what makes up his fantasy. So a man who has a provisional and a protective instinct is going to think about providing for you, protecting you, having that dream house with you. All of those boxes that he wants to check off, he wants to check those off with you. He wants to drive the nice car, but you're in the passenger seat in his daydream. He wants to buy the nice house for his family, but you're the woman who has his kids. And if he gets deep enough into his dreams, you're just the image of the woman that's there. Situations, the conversations, the families, the holidays, all of those things, if that's what he values, you're the image that he places there. Just like he's the image that you place in all of your fantasies around the things that you value and your ideas of a relationship. So again, no, a man can't just fall in love with you because you're good at being physical with him. You'll just become part of his highlight reel. He'll remember you in the past tense, but that doesn't mean he's going to be with you. If he doesn't have an intent to love a woman and he's compartmentalized her as something that you do and not someone that you love, then no matter how good you are in bed, he won't love you and he won't start to like you any more than you like him. The greatest things you can do is delay that physical gratification and give a guy time to spin around in his mind the other things that you possess. After he helps himself to one of the ideas of you sexually, maybe his mind wanders into something else. That time, that anticipation, is your biggest weapon against him just seeing you as a sex object. That's a big reason why a lot of people say you should hold off on that. Not to control your bodies, not to tell women what to do, not because women don't have needs, but because the way a man processes love is a little bit slower and a little bit different for many, many men. They need time to get past their sexual fantasy to move into a more logical and loving fantasy about the relationship structure that he would prefer with a woman. If he gets that gratification too soon, the daydream stops in the bedroom. To live life with a person, you don't just live in the bedroom. You need his dream to mature. You need his dream to mature into the next morning, into the next lunch date, into the next bicycle ride or the next walk or the next car ride. You need him to build up an image of you, having nothing to do with sex. You need him to get into a place to where he actually cares about what you're doing every day, where he wants to talk to you, where you're not waiting for his text messages or his calls, but he's calling you first. Or he's at least meeting you halfway and calling you every other time. Where he actually wants to hear your voice instead of just sending you a cheap-ass, lazy-ass text message. Where he thinks about you in the same way, in the same depth that you think about him. Think about the process that you take to fall in love. The daydreams, the expansion of thought that you have around one guy when you like him. The imagination it takes just to hold that energy. Time spent contemplating what could be, the potential. When men want more from a woman, that same process happens. When men don't want more from a woman, they just call at bedtime. Holding off on that allows a man to formulate more thoughts and more ideas about you besides bed stuff. If he's capable of doing that, then it will be of a great benefit to you. But if he does not have any love to give, he will move on to an easier target, which is the best thing that can happen to you. At least wait long enough to see which one he's prioritizing and if he's thought about you in different ways. Anyway, I hope that helps. Follow me at KidFake24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.